I'll do the clap so then you can hear the clap on both ends and then sync the clap.
Why would we do a clap?
To sync the audio, you baboon.
No, I thought you were gonna say I spoke before you finished your sentence. Okay, because I remember there was a video that you edited where Dell and Owen did it, and they just looked stupid.
Yeah, because it's them just clapping for no reason, with no intent of doing anything.
They just looked like they were like applauding a good performance.
I was like, what did you expect me to do with this? They're like, I don't know. It's just a clap sync. You clapped and it synced.
That's just not how it works. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking for our first guest we do try to get D-Ray, but he's been really busy, so I don't know how likely that is.
He's around. You just go to bed at fucking 4 in the afternoon.
I don't go to
You can't line up times with the old men, apparently.
I don't go to bed at 4 in the afternoon. I go to bed at between 10 and midnight.
Yeah, okay, old man.
Okay, man. It didn't have to be that deep. I was also Owen, obviously also an early guest, right?
I guess so.
What do you mean you guess so?
I guess so.
And then of course
E-bubble.
Jason.
E-bubble.
Oh yeah, Del. I thought you were saying eat bubble.
Eat bubble.
That would make sense. That'd be on brand, right, for Squirtle?
Eat bubble.
Eat bubble. We should get shirts that say "Eat Bubble."
Eat bubble.
Hey guys, John Jr. here. I'm bringing you guys another video.
That's the intro. Eat bubble.
Eat Bubble. That's the intro. Hey guys, John Jr. here. I'm a professional. This is I hope you guys are ready to learn to fly because this is the pilot episode.
What?
I thought about that. No, I thought about that one. So in my work, right? It's a 3-floor office building, like a shared space, and we each have like every company has like a floor basically. And I'm on the 3rd floor, and on my way out, I get in the elevator, and I just sit there, and I was like laughing to myself because I thought of that joke, and I was like, I'm fucking hilarious, and I can't wait to use that. I cannot wait to use that. Welcome to the Squirtle Squad pod. I don't know how we're gonna do it yet.
You're to the right or the left of me. You made the graphic. Have you made the graphic?
You're gonna be on my right.
Okay.
Probably.
So if I'm on the left side, so I have to look this way.
Wait, no, you're on the... Wait, no. If you're on my right, you're on the right side. Right?
Oh, yeah, so I'm on the left side.
What the fuck are you saying?
I'm trying to figure out which way I have to look at you for a bit, but apparently you don't know your lefts and rights.
Just do the same thing both directions so it'll land. Go ahead.
It'll land eventually.
Go ahead.
It'll land somehow.
Okay, have you done it? Are we good to move on?
I guess so. We'll figure it out.
Hey guys, John Jr. here.
Why are we doing the intro again?
Bringing you guys another podcast episode.
Another podcast.
The first pod. Well, I mean, there was that one a couple of years ago. Let's try that again. Hey guys.
Why?
So welcome to Squirtle Squad. What this is basically it's going to be a Pokemon podcast that also hits on some heavier topics potentially. Like today we're going to talk about anxiety at the end of the episode, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff. But we're usually going to keep the heavier stuff towards the end, and like the middle parts, beginning parts are going to be more Pokemon because I don't really. I mean, actually, after looking at it, there were a lot of really good Pokemon podcasts. But I'm still gonna say there's none that are better than me and Kurt. So that's what I'm gonna roll with.
If the intro is no indication, I don't know what is.
Yeah. So I decided on Kurt as my co-host because because 4 other people before him said no. So
what?
This is what I'm stuck with. No, I'm just kidding. Kurt was actually my first choice.
So.
You know, Kurt, you were a suggestion by Star. I don't know if I told you that.
I like that guy.
I told him, I was like, I want to do a podcast. I don't know who to be my co-host. And I was like, it can't be you because you don't know shit about Pokemon this generation.
It can't be you because you suck.
And he was like, well, I think you and Kurt would make a pretty good podcast couple? I'm so sorry. I just called us a couple. I'm so sorry.
I'm the bottom. He's the top. No, wait, fuck. Oh, well.
Okay. Anyway, he suggested it, so now we're here. And this is good. Anyway,
I'm being held against my will.
Let's go. Well, that you would be being held against your will if you were editing the whole thing.
This is true. John refused to give me money. Hashtag down with John Jr.
I give you enough money already.
You give me no money.
I gave you money. I gave you money.
I spent it all on Overwatch skins. Give me more money.
Did you really?
Maybe.
I'm never fucking buying edits from this guy again. Ooh. Okay, so the first thing that I actually want to talk about, I hope again, hope you guys have your pilot hats on. I'm gonna use that joke again because
why? That joke was used 5 minutes ago.
The first thing I want to talk about is in the beginning of the episode right now, I wanted to mention that at the end of every episode, we're gonna do viewer questions. So if you guys want to leave questions for me and Kurt in the comments below, or even just ping me in the Discord server, which you can join down in the description below, you guys can leave those and we will answer those at the end of every episode. We have a couple questions lined up.
I was not told about this.
Yeah, I thought it'd be cool. I thought it'd be a cool little segment. So the first question that we have here, Kurt, is
I think at the end of the video. Why are we here?
There's no
We've
questions.
been recording for 5 minutes.
This is the first episode. There's no questions. So
what is this segment?
Moving on.
God.
Hi, Kurt. Let's explain
Hello.
ourselves a little bit. Who are you?
I'm Kirby. I make noise a lot. I am the human version of shaking a soda can. You know, that's what we do out here. I don't know. I edit videos. I called your favorite PokeTuber a bitch. That's it. No, my claim to fame is I called Joey Pokey a bitch on his own video.
Oh.
And I feel like that's my claim to fame.
Do you think this is a lot about me that I just assumed you were talking about me?
Probably, because I have called you a bitch. I probably called you a bitch 3 times in this video already.
I thought you were just referring to the I'm him moment. On your
I'm
side,
him, bro.
on your side, you most certainly called me a dumb bitch at some point.
I also
in that commentary. In that commentary, no
I've
doubt.
definitely also my intro is just me reading out my Twitter bio because I think my Twitter bio is super funny.
What's your Twitter bio?
Wait,
is that what you just read?
Yeah, but I've called your favorite PokeTuber a bitch. I also edit their videos. I'm the human version of shaking a soda can. That's literally my Twitter bio.
Well, that just defeats the purpose of the question a little bit, I feel like.
Why? Does that not describe who I am? That's my bio. It's my biography. As per Twitter.com. On my account. Kirby17 on Twitter. Go follow me. John should link it.
Sure, I'll link it down in the description below. I mean, probably your socials would be down there. Regardless, this is probably something we should have thought of before. Also, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, when you edited my video and you sent it to me, it was going up the next day, and I didn't get a chance to upload it until the day of. So whenever I went to upload it, I almost didn't look at it at all. And I'm glad I did because I almost just didn't put your socials in the bottom, like in the description at all. Because until I saw it pop up on screen say, follow me in the description. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I should probably put that in there.
Yeah, I was like,
that usually helps.
I was like, oh, probably a good idea to do that. So let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, so Kurt, being a little bit modest, he has 1,200 subscribers on youtube.com/c/Kirby, I think.
Kirby. I think it's at Kirby now.
At Kirby? I don't
Kirby?
know. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I haven't uploaded in a month.
Go give him a subscription. He's probably going to be the first BBR replacement coach.
Facts.
Whenever that bridge crosses this season. He's also doing BBR content. Are you still doing BBR content for this season?
I do actually. I was supposed to record that later today. Oh, that reminds me. I have to mess this at one. So that's why I'm not gonna be able to look straight forward into a camera for an hour. So I'm just gonna I have ADHD. Leave me alone.
That's okay, man. I also am trying to look at my camera, but I'm like bouncing all around like
looking
at
but
notes.
I don't have the focus.
That's okay. But yeah, so I guess the next thing that I have written down for us to talk about is this is a podcast from 2 Draft League players, and a lot of people might not know what Draft League is. Some people will because of PokeAim. Obviously, he's making videos on it, but you might know of it, but you might not really know a whole lot about it. So for this segment, I just wanted to talk about Draft League as a whole, how we got into it, things like that. So Draft League does suck. So let me give my explanation first of what Draft League is, and then you can be negative. How about that? And then
guy can talk.
You can talk about how much you fucking hate Draft League.
That's understandable.
So Draft League, essentially, it's basically like fantasy Pokemon. I gotta go.
Fantasy Pokemon Ball.
It's essentially
eat bubble.
Eat bubble, like fantasy football. You have a snake order draft, and you pick 9 to 11 Pokemon, usually, depending on the league rules. And big voice crack. And you battle one person. You battle one person every single week. You build a team specifically tailored to beat what Pokemon they have, and it's really cool. It's really fun, and it's highly addictive. If you have not tried it already, there are a lot of different ways to play. You can join my Discord server and be a replacement coach for my community league.
I was gonna do the plug. I thought that was gonna be really funny.
Or you can obviously check different plug chats and different servers and check out
like the
different
BBR.
Leagues. Like the BBR. There's a plug chat in there, and a lot of people are throwing out new leagues every day because everybody wants to get their hand in this. Yay! It's really fun though. It's really addicting. What do you think about it, Kurt?
I love the draft format as much as I hate it. It's I've been playing since 2016. So what's that? That's 7 years now, almost going on 8. I'm old, bro. I'm a boomer in the draft scene, despite being one of the youngest people in the draft scene.
You were a boomer whenever like I got in though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was a boomer when you showed up. When you were just the little one.
Yeah.
I love the format because it lets you, if you enjoy, like, I don't like standard OU because it's the same shit every week, but also it allows you to like show your creativity and how smart you are with the game, and it's the ceiling never stops. There's no like, all right, I'm the best. There's no way I can get better. You can always improve, so there's always something to shoot for. It's just, I don't know, it's more fun. It's more fun than standard ladder because you're not playing the same fucking bullshit every 12 seconds. Despite you can't get as many reps in, but it's fun.
Very true. Well, you can get reps in with like mocks and stuff.
You can, but also, yeah, you get what I mean.
Yeah, like actual high pressure.
Actual
not like
game,
high
yeah.
pressure, but you know what I mean.
Well, it depends how you take it, right?
I guess so. Yeah, like for Box, for instance, shout out to Box in my front office. That is the highest pressure. The mocks. That's what he gets. But so how did you actually get into draft league? I don't know if I've ever asked you this. I'm actually curious myself.
I got started way back in the day. So I started playing competitive Pokemon. I Wi-Fi battled in Facebook groups. If people know that's a thing. I used to be one of the best Pokemon battlers in this small ass Facebook group. I was that guy. I was like 13. I was that guy. Fucking people up with Honchkrow and Vivillon. I was that dude. And then I met one of the guys who was also like really good that I battled a lot, and he's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this guy called Mega Mogwai?" And I'm like,
"Oh
no,
my goodness!"
No, legitimately, that's how I got in. So I checked it. I was like, "Dude, you should check out this draft league format thing. It looks really cool." So then we got a couple people, and we found this guy whose name is Box. And
wait, are you actually like my Box that I was just talking
yes,
about?
I'm the one that introduced Box to the community. That's my guy.
Okay.
That's my guy. We found this guy Box who was hosting this league, and you ain't gonna believe what it's called. You ain't gonna believe what it's called. The league was called Box's GBA League. So that was my first draft league, and we ran it through a Facebook Messenger group chat, and it was the most scuffed NA thing, but it was awesome.
How did you meet Panther then?
Through. Way back in the day, there was a GBA website where people like found leagues and shit. It was
dude, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
you know the league. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
yeah.
And I met this guy Daltino. You might have heard the name before. I met this guy Daltino, and he invited me to what was PMU at the time, and that's where I met Carson and Panther and Mightykiss and all those guys through there. And then here we are.
Yeah. So I guess a little bit of context for you guys that don't know. APA was essentially like the breeding grounds for the friend group that we have now, right? Like, it's how our friend group came to be. There's a bunch of different people from a bunch of different corners, like OG Albina, myself, Kurt, obviously. We met through APA, and then we kind of branched off and did our own thing. I think NCP was like right after I got into APA, right? So I think it was APA where we all met, yeah?
I had a walk-in.
Oh, okay, no worries. We can cut that out. I'm gonna do some good cuts, so it's whatever. editing guy. But yeah, anyway, APA breeding grounds for our friend group essentially. So
yeah, APA was the old heads. That was the place to be back in the day.
There was, and then A Drive joined it, and then boom, blew up, and then the timer died, and then now it doesn't exist.
Everybody blew up, and that was it. It blew up in the bad way.
Like spontaneously combusted.
Kaboom!
Kaboom. Yeah, have I ever told you how I got into draft league? Or you probably know for the most part, right?
You played in like leagues with your friends in school, right?
Yeah, so
Obo kind of talked about this with us the other night, actually.
Really?
Like, you guys used to just play with like the school group, and then like it was all your IRL friends, and somehow Shuckle King, who you guys just found and let come and bully you all with Shaman Sky for some reason.
Dude, no. Do you know about his season 2 team? Did Obo tell you how crazy it was?
Wasn't it the Shaman Sky like double dragon crap? Yeah.
It was like Shaman Sky, Zygarde,
that was the same season that Shedinja was banned.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. You banned Shedinja but allowed Shaman Sky because,
I think so. Yeah, but you told the story pretty well, I guess. So I guess there's no reason for me to tell my own fucking story, I guess, Kurt.
Sorry that I know your story better than you do, bro. I don't know.
Anyway, so my story, how I got into Draft League. Basically, I was known as like the Pokemon guy at my school, and I was like pretty open about it. I've never like hidden it like a lot of people do. So everybody knew me as the Pokemon guy, and a bunch of people wanted to try battling. And it was around the same time that I learned about GPA, like watching A Drive and stuff. And me and Obo used to always be really, really close, and we decided to start a league, and it was called I want to say PDA because everybody made fun of it because like public displays of affection. Yes, yeah, everybody made fun of it. So we made this league and we had all of our friends play in it, and it was really cool. It was really fun. There were 15 different weeks. It was one of those back in the day, which I feel like was common back in the day.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, that was common because you wanted to play everybody. But
yes.
Looking back, it is like, oh my god. Because we did the math on it the other day. If you do 15 weeks and make it to finals, that's almost like, I think that's almost 6 months of
dude,
one
hold
draft
on,
league.
Hold on. So one thing I didn't mention about this league, back in the day, we did best 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, and then 4 out of 7.
Yeah, Obo told us about
finals.
your weird-ass playoff system.
Yeah,
it was to replicate actual sports, but like, holy fuck.
It was too much. Because there was one, Zach McBuckets. You know Zach McBuckets, right? He's in my server.
I know Buckets.
He made finals alongside, you don't know him, his name's Cameron. He was a good friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in a while. No.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, they both made finals, and Cameron had, for some fucking reason, in this scuffed league where none of us had like real teams, he had Mega Metacham, Coco, Howlucha, Ferrothorn, like a real fucking core.
Wait, I think that team's on the NCP doc.
Yes,
like, I think it's one of the championship teams.
It is, because he won.
Crazy.
Because he swept Zach 4-0 because he brought the same fucking team all 4 times, and Zach had the worst matchup you've ever seen. Zach's best matchup was like, I think it was the best Pokemon. It was like Dragonite and Azumarill, right? So it was like not a fair matchup at all, right? But that was really fun, and then that got me into Draft League, and then the way that I got into like uploading and stuff was because I used to upload Minecraft stuff, and I always wanted to be a YouTuber growing up, so I just started uploading Draft League, and then Panther found me, and then Panther got me into PMU. I started uploading PMU, and then Panther got me into APA, and then had a lot of fun with that.
Did I ever tell you that Panther held PMU hostage, kind of?
Yes. He said that he
was
wasn't going to do anything.
I'm not playing if you don't let these 2 kids in. I'm like, alright, fine. Like, we need coaches, but like, goddamn it, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking Panther.
Yeah, he told me that. And dude, it's funny because actually low-key, I owe all of this stuff to Obo, because I will never forget, it's such a vivid memory. Obo, for some reason, I don't know why the fuck this happened, his favorite YouTuber to watch was Panther. I swear on my life.
It's because of the accent.
It's because it might be because of the accent. Yeah, it might be because of the accent.
Like me.
But so we were making another league because we were league whores back in the day. We'd make a new league every fucking week, right? And he reached out to Panther. He was like, "Hey, do you want to do my league?" And Panther was like, "Yes." And he did that, and we were friends because I beat him in finals.
Yeah, it was NCP. Oh no, that was afterwards. I was gonna say it was NCP, and Panther invited me, and then I came and played, and then Panther immediately dropped, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, no, I'm playing this random ass league with these random ass people."
No, that was a different season. This one was.
That was season 4 of NCP.
Yeah, this one was in WPL. Is what I was talking about.
Oh Jesus.
Do you know that one? Too many letters.
Heard of it.
Too many letters. I know. It's the first league that I won the first time I got to try Kieran Black. Love at first sight.
And
but I guess that's
Chimpo came around.
I do, dude. I love Chimpo. That is a good thumbnail, man. Now it's Zamazinta, but I don't know. I don't think anything can replicate Chimpo. I'll be honest. Chimpo got the most clicks, and it was just so easy to slot into everything. And now Owen has it. So, but I guess another thing that I did want to discuss while we're on the topic of Draft League in general is. You said it yourself, we've been around for fucking ever, right? Like, we've been playing the game for way too long. So a lot of people have been asking me basic tips to get better in Draft League, to build better, and to play better for Draft League. So I figured who better than the GOAT himself, Kirby, to give these tips, right?
I don't fucking know how to play Pokemon.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear these intense tips that you have going on.
Pull up, fuck bitches, get money.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get the smoke unless you're ready to get the smoke. I don't know. Pokemon, like I said, there's no ceiling. There's no, like, this is it, I'm done, I'm the best at the video game. You're always improving. Like, there's shit that even I'm still learning. There's some shit I learned the other day that I didn't even realize. Biggest improvements for Pokemon. 1, old draft tip videos from, like, 6 years ago are irrelevant. They don't matter. Stop drafting fucking firewater grass cores and
straight up
bullshit like that. You don't need it. It's not a real concept anymore. In terms of actually playing, it's risk versus reward is the biggest thing to keep in mind. People like to predict. I'm gonna try and reiterate what Kaz said in Goons the other day.
I was about to say, yeah.
Because Kaz is very good at the game, so I'm kind of like spitballing what he said. It's risk versus reward. People like to predict and look fancy. You can predict, but if you get the play wrong, do you lose? If you get the play right, do you win? Can you, like, I see a lot of people, they'll like predict when they don't need to, and the only like.
Just call it how it is. Oh, but we're talking specifically about you,
well,
man.
Yeah, almost one of them. There's another game that happened the other day that it was really bad that I wanted to, like, you don't need to predict in certain situations where you can click a safe move. Like, you can predict if you're in with a water type, right? Let's say you're in with your fish and you think that they're going to sack off their rock type that has base 20 speed and is of no threat to you. You don't need to click the water move on the switch. You can click fucking whatever you want, because you're going to kill them next turn. When you can learn the ability to think a couple turns ahead, that already puts you better than 60% of players. Because a lot of people play turn by turn, and that's good. You need to know what to do on a given turn. But when you can start kind of road mapping out your next couple of turns, you're able to recover a lot quicker from anything that you might not expect.
Very true. Actually, I have a funny story about how I learned that. It was very harsh. So, Shoko King, right now, me and great friends. I love Shoko King, right? He did bully me. There was a time where because I was the shit in my real life leagues. Like, I always went like fucking 12-2, 13-2, like whatever the fuck, like 13 and
yeah. The only one that understood how Pokemon works. So
exactly. Like, I swept people with Mimikyu, stuff like that. No, and then Shoko came in and I lost to him, and he was like, you know why you lost? And I was like, because of this and this. He was like, no, because you don't think any turns ahead. You think about turn by turn. And then after that, I was like, fuck this guy, but he's right.
Yeah, dude, right? That's the worst. Like, fuck you, you're a dick, but you're right.
Yeah, so after that, I think building off of that, another big thing that people have to realize is play to your win con. If your win con is Annihilate, you don't want to lead Annihilate, right? Like, based on matchup, like, you don't want to just like lead your Annihilate and then sack it off, because then what's your win con? Maybe you don't have another breaker. Maybe you don't have another way to win the game given the matchup. I think you have to play into your win con, and in building specifically, you want to pick in my mind, this is what's easiest: pick a win con and build around it. You don't necessarily have to bring the 6 best Pokemon in the matchup. You want to bring the win con, maybe another like secondary win con, and then ways to get to that win con. Yeah, I think that's like a big thing. Actually, I think that was in a Mogwai video is where I got that from. So, but it's like, it's a massively big help.
The biggest piece of advice I give to people when they ask me for advice, and I don't know why I didn't even think about this when it first comes to mind. Someone walks up to me, or someone shows up in my DMs, whatever, be like, give me one piece of advice to get better at Draft League. Play your game. Don't give a fuck about what they're doing. And so many people get so caught up. They're like, but they're gonna do this, and this, and they have this, and they're gonna do. I don't give a fuck what. I don't care what he's doing over there. I really don't care what my opponent's doing on the other side of the screen. Play your game, because that's what matters. Don't. If you get caught up trying to play their game, you're going to screw up your game, and you're not going to win. And I see so many people do that and lose games because of it. And it's so bad. So like, don't think about what they're doing on their side of the screen. They have their plan. They know what they're doing. Why do you care what they're doing? Do what you're doing on your side and leave them alone. Kick their ass and move on. Go next.
On the same front too, you have, if you're on Wi-Fi, you have a certain amount of time. But if you're on Showdown, you have infinite time, right? And if they have a timer,
you play with timer now though.
Well, how much time?
On the league.
You still have quite a bit of time. Expect like,
a lot of time, yeah.
I guess we're more so talking to newer draft players who are playing leagues like mine. You know what I mean? So
that's
like,
fair.
you usually have a whole lot of time. So take your time. I'm very guilty of this too. Sometimes I'll rush my moves and then get immediately punished, or immediately be like, fuck, shouldn't have done that. I should have done this. And I'll think about it 5 seconds too late. Take your time. You have time for a reason, straight up. And sometimes the best move is not one that immediately comes to you. Sometimes the best move is one you have to think about. You have to exhaust all your options. You have to think, well, if I go into this, what's the repercussion? If I go into this, what could they do to hit me, to punish me? And what kind of position does this put me in?
Yeah, and not to like, okay, I'm not self-plugging here, but I'm doing it anyways, because fuck you, John. I do it a lot. Sometimes cut it out in my videos because I'll just be mute silent. But a lot of times when I'm in a switch, you'll literally see me go over every Pokemon. And even if I'm not saying anything, I'm thinking like, okay, if I send this out, what happens? If I send this out, what happens? If I send this out, what happens? So like, it's little things like that. Even just going through everything one by one. Because yeah, if you have time, use it. Time is the best asset you get in Mons, regardless of anything else. Time is the best asset you have. So like, go through every Pokemon. If I send out my Aggron against the Mega Medicham, what will happen? Well, he will die. So let's not send him out. Now,
Eat bubbles.
Eat bubble. If I send out my Tornadus against the Mega Medicham, what will happen? Well, he will probably switch because he will not want to lose his Medicham to a Hurricane. Okay, maybe that's a good idea. So like, take your time and plan out every route, even if it seems obvious. Even if it's something so obvious as, maybe I shouldn't send Bastiodon in on fucking Mega Medicham. Make sure you understand why that's a bad idea.
Yeah, because who knows? Maybe you're sturdy Metal Burst with heavy-duty boots. Who knows?
Facts.
Maybe you forgot that straight up. But no, I do the same thing, and I think one
maybe
reason
you're
people are...
flying, and now you counter Mega Medicham.
Shut up. I think one reason why people are drawn to my content a little bit is because I do a pretty decent job at explaining my thought process. And a lot of times I'll say some stupid... It's the what?
It's the sex appeal.
A lot of times I'll say some stupid shit. I'll go down the list and I'll be like, okay, I can't go into this because of this, but I'm thinking it out. And for me personally, thinking out loud definitely helps. So maybe think out loud for you helps. But just so I guess the main point from all of this babbling is slow down, slow down, take your time and think.
If I have the Owen clip, we're playing that. If I can find it.
Well,
there's a clip of Owen literally going, think.
You'd have to edit then. You'd have to be the edit guy.
No, I'll just send you the clip and you go throw it in.
Okay. And then
or
maybe we should.
It'll just have no context.
Maybe we should have started with this. So we gave building help, like get a win con, build around it. We gave playing help, but we didn't give drafting help. And drafting help is a lot.
I suck at drafting.
You do suck at drafting. I think I'm really good at drafting. You don't actually suck at drafting. I was just being mean.
No, I play for 8 years. I have this thing. It's called anxiety. SpongeBob meme anxiety.
Well, that ties into the end of the video, Kurt.
Yeah. Wow. Segue. I draft 2 Pokemon and think my team is terrible. I do it literally every draft. I can have the best. I can have fucking Mewtwo and Xerneas and be like, damn, my team's dog shit. Holy shit, I'm gonna lose. Because I overthink everything. Drafting advice is don't draft Firewater Grass Cores because they don't exist anymore. It's a fake concept. And for the first 3 rounds, just draft the best Pokemon on the board. Don't give a fuck about your points. Just draft the best Pokemon on the board.
Best available. I think the best
that makes
advice,
sense. Asterisk. That if you draft Mega Charizard X, you do not need Heatran. Spoiler alert.
That is true. I think another really good thing to keep in mind with draft is you draft for roles, you don't draft for specific types necessarily, right? Like you got to think, okay, so I hear so many people talking about draft a fairy type. Why is that draft a fairy type? Because you want to stop dragons, you want to take resist fighting, you do all this stuff. Well, if you have certain Pokemon to do those same roles, do you necessarily need it? Maybe not. It just depends on your team function, what kind of functionality you need from the Pokemon that you're drafting. Of course, there are some types that I do think are just necessary. I think fairy is probably one of them, so maybe that wasn't the best example. I think
I didn't want to say anything, but I was kind of disagreeing with your example, but I was kind of just shaking my head and nodding because the points you were making were correct, but the example you used was it
was what was on the head. I have that Alcremie from the trailer in my head right now. There are some very
what the fuck?
There are some very
you just wanted to fucking hate on Alcremie. What's the point of this?
Alcremie. Okay, anyway, so there are a couple of types that I feel like are pretty mandatory. Fairy type is one of them for sure. Steel type offers way too much to a team to not get a steel type. There are some shitty steel types that maybe you're better off not getting.
If you get a shitty steel, it's not worth. However, you feel the repercussions of not having a steel type. You really do. Yes.
Like if you draft Berserker, there's no fucking point. You don't have a steel type. You gotta think, am I bringing
Although to be fair, he did get 3 kills. He is pretty cool.
That's not pretty cool. That's pretty stupid. That was
awesome.
able to happen. No. And then the last type that I think is like absolutely mandatory is like a bulky water. I think a bulky water is always needed. Maybe even 2.
Emphasis on the word bulky.
Maybe even 3. I hope you're smiling right now. I'm smiling.
I'm drinking Dr. Poplio, not sponsored.
Doctor
and shaking
who?
my head no. Dr. Poplio. I can't say the real one because we'll get copyright striked. Probably. I don't know how that works. It's not a real thing. Yeah, I agree. Bulky water. If you pull up and be like, yeah, I drafted bulky water. Oh, really? What's a water type? Greninja. I'll fucking smack the shit out you. I swear to God. Because sadly enough, that is a real conversation I've had with somebody before, and it made me want to cry through my eyeballs. They said, my bulky water's Greninja, and I said, no, you're stupid. I want to hit you with a canoe paddle. You stupid fuck.
Why a canoe paddle?
Because it's big and it would hurt. You deserve it.
Okay, but yeah, there are certain roles, like I think those 3 types are probably necessary, and there's other roles you need. You don't necessarily, I guess, need hazards. Hazards are really nice to have. You probably do need some form of removal.
Today's day and age are in a weird spot because in Gen 6 and Gen 7, before the invention of heavy-duty boots, hazards were super oppressive. So, like, you needed removal and you needed hazards because if you didn't have those things, you were at a distinct disadvantage. But hazards still play the same role because you force boots. So you kind of need to just know how to take advantage of a Pokemon that has boots on. You know, if it's boots, it's not Bandit. If it's boots, it's not Scarf. If it's boots, it's not Leftovers. You just need to know how to take advantage of that.
And I also really like hazards in this generation, especially because a lot of people are like, oh, boots, so they're kind of useless. But there's so few removers. There's like maybe 15 removers.
No, I was literally looking for drafting. There's like, I think there's like 15 removers total that are actually viable Pokemon. That aren't completely useless, and they're all the same type. They're all like fucking, I don't even know. They're all like some bullshit normal type or like water type or some shit, or like I think there's a lot of ground type removers or some shit. I don't know. I looked this up the other day. It was really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in 2023, drafting for types is not the move anymore. Besides those 3, you draft for roles. You draft for what things do for each other. You draft for a coherent team. And for new players, I'm probably not even speaking English right now. They're like, what the fuck are you saying? Easiest way I can put it is Professor Oak. If I draft Charmander, I need something to beat water types. Therefore, I'm going to draft Bellsprout. Because
why didn't you just say Bulbasaur? Why did you not
I knew you wanted me to say Bulbasaur. I knew you wanted me to say Bulbasaur, so I switched it up on you.
I'm so pissed. Now you can't say the other one now then.
Nah, well, I'm still going with my analogy.
No, go ahead.
I'm drafting Bellsprout to beat Water-type Squirtle because he will beat my Charmander, and I want Charmander to win because he's cool. Not as cool as Squirtle. Hindsight should have made this about Squirtle, but
Eat bubbles.
Eat bubble. You see, that's what Bellsprout does. He eat bubble, and he eat bubble. So it's just like...
is bubble eater.
Thinking about what your moms want to do. My second biggest advice. I keep circling back because I forget my own advice. I don't know. I forget things. When you build, and it's the dumbest thing I've ever said to somebody, but it actually works. When you build around a win con, you be like, okay, I want to win with Dragon Dance Salamence, right, John? I want to win with Dragon Dance Salamence.
Okay.
Why can't I lead with Salamence, click Dragon Dance, and win off lead?
Because they have an Alcremie.
There you go. Now build your team around beating Alcremie. Like, it's literally that simple. You don't need to overthink it. Why can't I lead with my win con and 6-0 off lead? Because everyone wants to win 6-0. That shit's awesome. It's fucking crazy. That shit's fun. Crazy. If you 6-0 somebody in 6 turns, fucking demon. You're a demon, bro. So
you
like,
probably like Crocodile.
Legendary. Sensational. It's that simple. It's that easy. Why can't I win with this? What stops me from winning with this? Oh, nothing? Well, then I'm going to fucking do it.
I'm going to lead him and win.
Yeah, no, literally, I'm going to do this and win. And that's why, like, offensive leads are so good this gen. That's why everyone laughed when I led with Sash lead Gengar every week, but that's why I did so good. Because, you have a Ghost Resist, so I'm going to lead with Gengar, kill 3 Pokemon, and then win the game with fucking Chimpo, because I've killed everybody already.
I had Chimpo.
That's why I did so good in Season 4, because offensive leads fuck with people. Yeah, I didn't have it last time.
I mean, you heavily utilized Sash lead Palmot too.
Too true. He's awesome.
Yeah, no, Palmot is great. I like Palmot. You made me like Palmot, but
cool. I like him.
And then, like I said earlier, or maybe Kurt said it, in the beginning rounds of draft, you want to draft what the best available Pokemon is, but also that is pretty subjective as to maybe Dragapult's left on the board. Maybe you have pick 1 in Dragapult, Chimpao, and Urshifu are on the board, and
you can't go wrong. There's no incorrect pick with that.
yeah, like you think Dragapult might be the best Pokemon in the format, but you think
Yeah.
you're more comfortable with Urshifu, then get Urshifu. Get whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is get the Pokemon that you feel the most comfortable with. If
The
there's a
most
Pokemon on the
comfortable-
board that you don't think you're going to do well with, but it fits the roles, don't get it. You don't have to get it. Nobody's forcing you to get it.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
agree.
Gliscor. Like Gliscor for me. Like I'm never taking Gliscor. It fills a lot of roles. Dude,
We were
calm
literally
down.
talking about this earlier today, why you hate Gliscor, and that you've never actually said why you hate Gliscor, you just say you hate it.
It fills a lot of roles. I just don't like it for
Yeah, I just don't.
undisclosed reasons. So
Yeah,
I
dude,
am not going
okay.
to use it.
This fucking guy. No,
So
I
I'm not going to
agree.
use it.
That being said, if you get pick one Dragapult and it goes all the way back and Chimbo is still on the board and you're not taking Chimbo, you probably deserve to get hit with a canoe paddle. If you get Dragapult Chimbo, you should probably go to jail. Honestly.
That's true. I faced a
So,
Dragon
like-
Ball Chimpao, didn't I?
Yeah,
And,
you should.
yeah.
Did you send them to prison? Did you send them to the local county jail?
No, I
Because
got
that's
sent
where
to
they
the Shadow
belong.
Realm.
Actually,
I
that's
couldn't
where
do anything.
Actually, that's where the other 15 people in the draft pool deserve to go. If you let that happen, that's your fault. What you do? What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, draft the best Pokemon that actually makes sense. And sometimes it might not make sense on paper. That's the wave, is drafting two of the same thing that do the same thing. Example, me last season in BBR, I drafted Bundler and Terra Volk, both water types wow, I said Volcarm was a water type. I hate my life.
It's very similar to Combi, I would say.
Water types that beat the same things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they got a fat water type with no recovery, I have two dudes beating that guy up now. So now that dude can't check both. He's physically not possible to because he's taking too much damage.
Well, there's one, but I'm not gonna say names. There is one that can check both.
Why don't you pipe up? Speak up. Speak up, big dog.
Okay, Dozy, Big Dozy.
Oh,
He's
God. Yeah,
anyway.
fucking Body slam dozy.
Anyway, so this brings me to the next
8.
point, which is going to be talking about the best Pokemon in the format. What do you think the best, I don't know, 10 Pokemon in the format are post-home right now?
Jesus
And
Christ, John.
we'll assume, I know, I thought this was going to be fun to spring on you. I didn't tell you about this one
Jesus.
beforehand.
You
I
gave
thought
me
it'd be
the
super
note
fun.
saying we'll talk about the best Pokemon, so I thought we were just gonna talk about Pokemon. I was like, fucking not ready for it.
No, I want your top 10 list. You don't have to do it in
Jesus
order.
Christ.
I just want to know 10 of the
You
best
were getting
Pokemon.
them in order. I tell you what.
All right. Can we consensusly agree on the
Consensusly,
top
both of
3?
us.
Consistently, both of us. There are there are 3 Pokemon that I think are the top 3 Pokemon in the format, and I think it's undisputable. And then after that, I think it's really discussable. And I think the top 3 in any order you want, whatever dealer's choice, Kurt, are Dragapult, Chienpao, and Urshifu. I think those are the top 3.
I agree with Chenpo Dragapult. I've actually heard that a lot of people are underwhelmed by Urshifu, i.e. J-Bear, for some reason. Just because of the power
J-Bear.
creep of this gen. Like a lot of Mons give Urshifu, it doesn't make it as strong it doesn't make it seem as strong as it is. Urshifu's still amazing. And he's still in top 10 easily, probably still in top 5 easily.
Dude, it's just the lack of fairies. Like, if there were more fairy
Yeah.
types, maybe DOC, you could convince me otherwise. But the fact that Dashma's my fairy makes me think
That's your
that
problem.
makes me
That's
think that
your
Urshifu's
problem.
top 3. Who would you put top 3 then?
I think that Valiant gives a good run for it.
That's fair. No, Valiant was my 4. Valiant was my 4.
Valiant
so that's
gives
fair.
a good run for it because it's just so versatile. Even if you Terra ban it, it's so strong. I used it in Crash, and it literally just won games on its own half the time. It actually filled the role of, can I lead this off lead? And it actually did once, and I did it, and I killed like 4.
You did it. I guess for this we'll go with
yeah.
BBR's Terra bans.
That's what I was doing. That's what I pulled
Okay.
up. A lot of leagues are doing similar bans. If they're
Yeah.
doing like high tier Terra bans. I know like PPL is doing low tier Terras and shit, so they have their own shit. So like yeah, I agree. I think Chimpo, Pult, Valiant, Urshifu, top 4. Palafin's up there as 5.
I don't think Palapin's 5.
Well, in any order, he's in there. Okay,
I don't
not
think
as
no,
5, but
I don't think he's in 5. I think he's like 6 or 7.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying he's 5. I'm saying he's in the remaining leftover.
Then the top 10. The top 10.
yeah.
Okay, we'll
I'm
get
just-
there. We'll
I'm
get
just
there then.
spitting
We'll
them
get there then.
I'm spitting them out because I don't have an order. I ain't got an order.
I thought you said you were doing them in an order.
No, I ain't got an order.
Okay, go ahead.
I ain't got an order. Palafin's up there. So that's 5. That's 5 Pokemon in the top 10. You see where I'm going now?
Mm-hmm.
Torn is still broken. That's 6. Bundle is up there. That's 7.
Jimmy Bundler.
Jimmy Bundler. Lando I is up there. Lando I is up there, but I don't know how I feel about Lando I, and here's why. The lack of rock polish is actually super bad for it.
It is super bad. But
I
also,
think
I'm
Lando
not going
I
to take
is-
any Lanad slander on this podcast, man.
That's true. I mean, I'm still putting him top 10.
Okay,
So,
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go
respect
ahead.
Lanad on that front. I think that Lanad is the definition of a noob killer. I think Lando I is the definition. He will punish you if you don't know how to play around Landers. He's the same thing that we had with Mega Mawile in Gen 7 and not Gen 6 as much, but Gen 7 really. You might even remember that era, Joe. People like, should we ban, we banned Mega Mawile for so long, and then towards the end of the gen we started allowing it again?
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's the same thing with like Koopa too.
Yeah, because it hits hard, so there is no defensive counterplay to Landorus and Mega Mawile, but that's not how you beat those Pokemon. You beat those Pokemon by their offensive weaknesses. Landorus is base only 101, which in this metagame where there's so much fucking speed is not very fast. And now he doesn't have a way of boosting his speed. His only way of boosting speed now is Choice Scarf. If he's Choice Scarf, he's not Life Orb, so the damage output there is not there, so you actually can build defensive counterplay to Scarf Sheer Force Lando. So that's actually, it's a huge nerf to Lando. He plays a little bit differently, but if you know how to offensively check Landorus, it's not that great. It's not bad by any means. He's still top 10, but I think he's bottom of top 10, like riding that. Like I think he's 9 or 10.
That's fair.
Might be hot take.
That's fair. I would have to list all of them out before I decide. I might not even put him in my top 10. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, I think he's 9, 10, or like maybe falling out there, like at 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Like he's up there, but he's not up there.
I think that's 7 Pokemon for you so far, yeah?
That's 7.
Oh, no, 8, because you said Iron Bundle.
Oh, yeah, I did say Bundler. I think Terra Annihilate is up there.
Ooh,
if
with
we're
only
doing
2
BBR,
types?
man. Oh, with BBR rules. I mean, I think it's still up there. I think Annihilate's crazy. Post-Home, I don't know, because I don't know how a lot of these mons are going to interact. Like, for me right now, Ursaluna's... I don't want to say Ursaluna's top 10, but he's up there. He might be the 10 spot.
That is a crazy statement. Dude, so many people... Oh my...
Dude,
we could literally talk for 20 minutes about Ursaluna, dude.
I say that shit... Dude, I've played it, and it was not that good the first time I played it, and now I'm playing it again in the GBA tour. Holy shit, that mon is so fucking annoying.
Dude, it's good in prep. It's good on paper, right? But its weaknesses are very, very prominent. It's like Mega Mawile, I think. It's like a worse.
Bulky,
it's like a.
bro.
It's like the same thing with Mega Mawile.
Bulky, bro.
Dude, Mega Mawile is bulky too.
No, it's not. It's a
Yes, it
stupid
is.
tooth fairy. His name's
Oh
Toothless.
my gosh. His name was Medusa, first of all. But second of all, Ursula was really cool, and I like that a lot of people like it. But it's not. It can't do everything. Like it has so many things that it can do.
But it kill. I think it's almost
It's
impossible
kill.
to go a game. I think it's almost impossible to go a game without Ursaluna getting one. I think
Dude,
Ursaluna is that strong.
I've used it. I've faced it. I've done everything with Ursaluna. I've fucking seen him outside. Ursaluna is not as good as people say he is. Bear.
Why did you see him outside?
He was at Walmart. Ursaluna,
Why?
he was buying things, man. I don't. Anyway,
What the fuck?
Ursaluna.
What does he buy? Question of the day: what does Ursaluna buy from Walmart?
Ursaluna is super cool. Throws a lot of rolls. It's the only fucking viable normal type in the entire game right now, right? Besides like the Dunsparce, it's the only high tier.
I gotta hold it up. This is a cap. This is a cap
Go
right
ahead.
there.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh my god, we get into the normal type discussion. There's so many.
Viable,
Ursaluna,
okay,
this
defensive normal. Viable defensive
this is
normal.
This is a free throw. This is an easy shot. They call me Jimmy Butler. Ursaring is right there.
Anyway.
Big Bear, Big Bear is insane.
We're not having a discussion about Ursaring right now. We're having a discussion about Ursaluna right now.
Nah, you
Ursaluna,
have a conversation about normal types. You have a conversation about normal types.
Ursaluna, look, Kurt, I'm looking at this board right now, this 16-point board. I'm not seeing things that... I think everything's better than Ursaluna except Iron Treads.
Build cap emoji.
Build
cap emoji.
I think it's better than Iron Treads, maybe, but Iron Treads fills more rules.
I think it's better than Iron Treads. I think it's better than Sneasler if you ignore if you ignore Dire Claw. I think Dire Claw being the cheesiest move in the game makes Sneasler better.
Okay, but we have Dire Claw, so you can't ignore it, so your point is irrelevant.
You can,
Moving on.
because that's the only thing that makes this Pokemon
Moving
good.
on.
It's the only thing that makes this Pokemon
Okay,
good.
but now we're talking about Ursaluna, but also he doesn't have Facade or Headlong Rush, so
No, those are legitimate moves.
So keep that in mind.
Those moves don't break the game.
No.
We didn't have to
Anyway,
rewrite a specific rule for Ursaluna.
anyway, keep going.
What am I at? Lando T is always broken. He'll always be broken. He's Lando T. He's one of the best Pokemon ever created. He's still in the top 10, even if it's at the bottom. Like, I think 9 and 10 are probably Lanad and the Lanad dog.
Lanad and Lanard.
Lanad and Lanad dog.
Tenad. I don't know. I can't think of
Tenad.
funny. Anyway, Goose will
dog.
have to think of something for us. I think it's Chien-Pao, Dragapult, Urshifu, Iron Valiant, and I think it's I think the order is Dragapult, Chien-Pao, Urshifu, Iron Valiant for me, and then I feel like number 5 is Torn, and then I think number 6 is Palafin, and I'm pretty set on those 6. I think those 6 are pretty set.
I'd
for
agree
me.
with that. I think Palafin and Torn are interchangeable in those spots, but I agree with those. I agree with that.
That's
for the
fair.
most part.
That's fair. I'm pretty set in those. I feel like you could swap Urshifu, Iron Valiant, and you could swap Torn and Palafin, and I think those are the top 6, like pretty solidified.
I'd agree with that.
I think number 7 is a Pokemon you didn't even put in your top 10. Spectrier. I think Spectrier is up there. Spectrier is crazy, man.
With Terraban?
With Terraban, yeah. I think it's just
Cat.
the fact
Build
that it got
cat.
draining. Just the fact that it got draining,
cat
it's
emoji.
so unbelievable, man. It's
I
just
think
so
it's
unbelievable.
good. I don't think it's top 10. I really
think
don't.
it's-
I think that boy hangs out in like 12th.
12th. I mean, that's respectable. Like
I think
I
he
put
is
him
by-
8, you
I
put
think
him
he's-
12th.
I think he's by far the worst 17 pointer on the PBR board.
That's crazy. Chi-Yu is right fucking there.
Chi-Yu's
Actually,
crazy. You're just
Greninja
at-
is right there too. I think
I will give you Greninja.
probably-
I think we overpriced Greninja.
We did overprice Greninja.
I agree with that one. The only other answer I'd give you is I think Roaring Moon's kind of ass.
With no, but
So-
it has Terra allowed though. You gotta remember.
I know,
that,
but
so.
I think it's not that great. I really don't. I think
Yeah.
it gets saved. So, okay. I don't think Spectre's that good. I think it hangs out in like 11, 12. I don't think it's that good. I thought you were going to say Bax. Bax with Terra,
No.
even with our rules, is insane.
Bax is really good. I don't think I would put it top 10 with these rules. With these specific rules, I don't
would.
think I would put it top 10.
I would.
You
I
just
mean, it
what do you
literally
mean
won
you
last-
you
it
just
literally won
fucking
last
changed your
season.
list then? No, you
It
just changed your
literally won
list.
last
You
season.
named 10 Pokemon better than it though.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. What do you mean? You said Chien-Pao, Dragapult, Lando, Torrenti, Urshifu.
I wasn't confident on my Ursaluna say, though, to be fair.
Okay.
I think
anyway,
Ursaluna.
so
I think Ursaluna's decent.
Spectre is 7 for me. I'd probably put Bundle at 8. Unfortunately, number 9.
over Jimmy Butler.
What?
You're putting Spectre over Jimmy Butler?
I guess Iron Bundle does have Terra allowed in this, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Switch up. I switch up. Then.
Okay, thank God. I thought we were-
I'm gonna put Bundle 7, Spectre 8, and then I'm gonna put Great Tusk 9. I think Great Tusk is a Pokemon that has been gaining a lot of traction for me specifically. I think that mon just does so much. It's so good, so
I think it's
unbelievably
bad.
good. What?
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's top 10. I think he's hanging out with Spectre at like 11, 12.
And then I
I
put
don't know. I didn't love
Lanad
him when I
10.
had him. Lanad. Fucking Lanad.
Lanad 10. So that's my top 10 in order. I think I got all 10. If I can count, I probably only said 9.
You probably can't count, to be fair.
But I cannot believe I'm in call with the person who thinks Ursaluna is a top 10 Pokemon right now. That is absurd.
I'm starting to retract that statement. I still think it's to be fair, you put Spectre, you can't talk.
Spectre is so much better than Ursaluna.
Cap. Build cap emoji. Build cap emoji.
All right, guys. Question of the day down in the comments below: who's better,
What does
Spectre or
Ursaluna buy from
Ursaluna?
Walmart?
So I guess the last topic. This is gonna be the heavy topic. So if you guys were just here for the Pokemon stuff, feel free to click off now. But
We're
be
just
sure to answer
jumping
the.
right in. I don't even get a 3, 2,
We're
1.
we're just jumping right in. Feel free to
Oh,
answer
okay.
the question of the day down below. Of
What
course.
does Ursaluna buy?
What does
from
Ursaluna buy from Walmart?
Walmart? Can that be title of the video?
Yes, that can be the title of the video.
Yeah, we did it.
But we're just gonna jump right in. It's a pretty heavy topic. I mean, it's not like super heavy, but it's a lot heavier than what we were talking about. And it's anxiety, both in relation to Pokemon specifically, since it's a Pokemon podcast, and just in general. And I thought that this would be a good podcast topic because Kurt and I are 2 individuals that have suffered from anxiety pretty much our entire lives. At least for me, I would assume you
Yay.
are also the same, Kurt. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, the first thing that I wanted to talk about is we'll do the in relation to mon thing last, and then I want to talk about like our types of anxiety and how it affects us. So for me at least, it's completely social anxiety, solely social anxiety. I don't really have any type of other social or any other type of anxiety. And mine is like even before getting in this call with Kurt, one of my best friends in the world, I'm like really anxious and I'm in my own head and I'm just thinking the whole time, and I'm just always not there in social situations. And even after a social situation, I'll sit there for like 30 minutes and think about what I could have done better or what I said incorrectly and things like that. And it's something that I've been working on for a while. I got a lot better, and then COVID hit, and then it fucking ruined me. But what type of anxiety would you say you have, Kurt?
See, I got it on sale, so I got that little bit of everything. I got that entire spice mix, as the kids would call it. I got that trail mix of anxiety, if you would call it that.
Okay.
It started with really bad social anxiety. People used to know me as the emo kid because I was the emo kid back in middle school. That's when my anxiety really peaked. When I was just afraid to talk to people and not good at it and shit like that. But my anxiety, instead of getting better, actually got worse. I started getting really bad test anxiety. And then I started just kind of getting anxiety as a whole over everything. And I'm actually a lot like you. I'm not I have very similar to you where I can only be in call one-on-one with very specific people. I think I've told you this before. But I can't sit in a call one-on-one with almost anybody. I can sit in call with, I think, a handful of people. Like, one-on-one. If there's 2 people, I'm fine. Even if it's two random people and me, I'm fine. But I cannot sit one-on-one with people because I'm just not able to. The other part is if you've actually watched and not just throw us on the background, you've probably noticed I've not sat still for the last 45 minutes. I'm always moving, playing with something. I was playing with a credit card earlier. I'm gonna hope that didn't... I just realized what happened. I'm gonna have to watch that video back. I don't think anything bad happened. Yeah, so I can't sit still to save my life. I'm just not good at things. I don't know. I'm very anxious person. I'm not very good at things. I'm not very good at doing stuff. And I get scared. I'm like a little raccoon who sees the light when I'm trying to eat banana peels.
Specifically banana peels, nothing else.
I don't know. I was trying to find. I was thinking of garbage.
That's fair. I guess more so going into like how anxiety, I guess, hinders me. So specifically with social anxiety, it's like, for instance, for those of you that do not understand it, I'm trying to like explain it in a light that you would. Whenever I work in an office, so whenever I walk by people in the office, I immediately start thinking, oh, do I look weird walking around? Are they looking at me funny? Or if somebody laughs, I'm like, oh, are they laughing at me? Is my pockets out or something? Is something wrong with my shoe? Like weird random things like that. But they like consume my thoughts and take over. And like I said, the next 30 minutes after that, that's all that's on my mind. That's all I'm thinking about. And it's definitely been a struggle. And it's something that I want to get better, but it's difficult to get better with it. One thing that I used to be, like I said, working on it a lot and getting better with it. One thing that I did personally that helped me out, that I try to do, but it's so hard to keep in that mindset, is, it sounds super silly and you guys are gonna laugh when you hear it, but pretend that you're not anxious. If you pretend you're not anxious on the outside, your inside will be a whole lot easier to maintain. And it sounds really stupid.
It's a legitimate thing. I've heard it as well.
So
it's to fuck with your own mind. If you go in not being scared, then it's the idea of like, well, if I'm not scared, it almost sends your brain into like system overload, as weird as that sounds, because I've literally done it where I'll walk in and I'll be like, I'm not afraid. I'm the fucking goat. I'm the shit. I'm the king of the world. Nobody can fuck with me. And then my brain will try to start being anxious and it's like, wait, but what? Help.
But I'm
what
the
do?
king.
What do? Sometimes it sends me into spirals, but most of the time it works.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
That's always
my high functioning shit.
Whenever I was in high school, that's how I like got over it for a couple of years, and then, like I said, COVID just kind of fucked it up because I don't see human beings on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? I work from home 4 days a week, so it has not been kind to me since COVID, for sure. I guess, like, obviously we're very clearly both still struggling with anxiety in some fashion. What things have you found that have helped you out?
I was gonna make a joke, but it wasn't actually that funny.
Okay. Eat bubbles.
Eat bubble. Nah, I still struggle. A lot of it is kind of a mental thing, kind of just like psyching myself up into certain situations. If it's small stuff, it's a lot easier to do than bigger things. But even something as simple as like, and I'm gonna segue, John. You wanna know how good of a podcast host I am? I'm about to segue the shit out of this fucking conversation. Something as simple as I played a Pokemon game yesterday on Pokemon Showdown. I'm playing Pokemon for 8 years. I've been competitive battling for fucking almost 10 because I used to just battle with my brother when I was young. So I've played Pokemon my entire life. Ain't nothing changed about the formula of the game, anything like that. I still almost had it. Like, I freak out when I play Pokemon games, even if it's something as simple as, hey, I'm fucking 7-2, best coach in the league, and my opponent's 0-8, hasn't killed a Pokemon. I will still stress the fuck out over something as easy as that, just because that's just, you know, I panic, and that's how it always snowballs for me. The biggest thing that's helped me a lot in the last couple of years, it's a big change in attitude, is the big change of who the fuck cares, bro. And that's actually, it's helped me a lot in terms of, like, I really don't give a fuck about things anymore. As weird as that sounds, I really don't care about small stuff anymore. You don't like me, I don't care. You don't like what I did, I don't care. It sounds easier than it actually is. It was something that, like, I kind of have to, like, force into my mindset, but it's easier to shrug off that way when things do go wrong and things don't go according to plan for me. If something is like, yeah, you know, I heard this guy's talking shit, he doesn't like me. Okay. I don't, what do I gain out of stressing over it, you know? So it's kind of the idea of, like, not letting small shit hit you, and that really actually does help with the anxiety aspect, because you get less anxious for things like that then.
Yeah, and I think in relation to that too, one thing that whenever I was getting better with my anxiety, one thing that I always told myself, one thing I try to remember now, is the fact that, are these people going to matter in 5 years? And that may sound shitty on the surface, right? But in your life, like, step back. Is this person that you are having anxiety about right now, are you gonna know who the fuck they are in 5 years? The answer is probably no, unless you're having anxiety about, like, a close friend for some reason. Then the answer is probably no. Like, me walking through the office, is this person that I'm thinking about right now going to matter? No, they're not. They're just simply not going to matter in my lifetime. So why care about them? The exact same thing you were saying.
Yeah, no, I've heard the same thing.
Good segue into the Pokemon thing. So for me, for Pokemon stuff, I feel like most matches I don't get super anxious. Sometimes I'm just a little out of it, but that's not because I'm anxious. That's because, like, long days and waiting for the matches is like a whole big ordeal. And I record the team builder before, but the one time in recent memory that I can remember being extremely fucking anxious, there were 2 times. The first one is facing Joey. Not necessarily facing him, but the interview after fucked me up. And I would say I don't know why. Obviously I know why, because he's someone I've been watching for 7 years or something. That was an interview that I wish I could just take back, because I feel like I was super shy and super timid in the interview, and he asked me if I had anything else to say, and obviously my go-to response should have been, yeah, check out my YouTube, here's all this shit I got going on. I went, nah, I'm okay. Like that, just straight up.
Bubble.
I straight up said, nah, I'm okay. And
I'm good.
he was like, oh, okay. And like,
to be fair, I think I also said some stupid shit in mine. I think I plugged myself, but I also said some stupid shit.
And it's like, I hope people don't see that and perceive me differently, like poorly, because of that. Because I had anxiety. I had social anxiety. I was talking to somebody that I looked up to, you know what I mean? And I had a lot of anxiety. But the other one is pretty obvious, I think, when I was pretty anxious. The BBR finals? BBR
quarterfinals, when he yelled, "Somebody sign me!"
I was not anxious then. I was anxious before the finals game.
You're lucky I went easy on you.
Shut up, Kurt. The BBR finals game, I was super fucking anxious, because my only thought was how well the videos have been doing and how more and more people have been watching. And I was like, 5,000 people are gonna watch this. 5,000 people are gonna tune into this to see me either be awesome or fail miserably, and we'd see how it went.
The only thing you were scared of was losing to a kid with a bowl cut.
And it happened, and so many people saw that, but that's all I could think about the whole time. I couldn't think about my plays. I tried to talk it out, but it was like an unreal level of anxiety, and I relate it socially, because it was about, okay, this is what these people will think, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel that for sure. Draft League finals in a YouTube league hits different. It's a different level, and you really feel it. And it's like, I remember when I played Matt for BBL finals like a year ago or whatever, I was nervous. Obviously I was stressing about it, but it's the mentality of, like, I've worked so hard this season for this moment, and now the moment is here. I don't want to fuck it up. Yeah. And I remember that's why, like, it's so stressful in the moment, but that's why it's so relieving even when the game's over, it's defeating, but also it's like relieving because like okay, now it's gone, it's done.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, at the end of my game, I was like, well, at least I lost to J-Bear. At least I lost to a friend.
You're bummed that you lost and that it didn't turn out, but also it's like it's this weight taken off you because you're like, holy shit, I can breathe now. Like it's something you stress about because like when you're like us and you're passionate about the game and you're passionate about the effort you put into it and you're passionate about the entire process, it's a lot of weight compared to someone who literally just shows up and plays the game, which is, it's nothing on that type of person. It's just when you put your all into something, it's anything for us as Pokemon. When you put your all into anything, it's you want it to be perfect, you know?
Like, no, exactly. And one point though, I don't think the breath of relief was after the game for me, but after the upload. After I saw how positive people were about not being mean to me. There were quite a few people who were like, why the fuck did you do this? And I was like, I had anxiety, please be nice. But after that, it was like, okay, this is something that I can get past, and then look, I'm still alive. So
yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, ultimately, it's small stuff. Small stuff ain't gonna kill you. That ties into both Pokemon and regular anxiety. Like it's small stuff. It's not gonna kill you. It sucks, but it's not gonna kill you.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that about does it for the first episode. I think we had a pretty successful first episode. It was pretty fucking scatterbrained, but it'll...
That's what this is going to be. And if you wanted a professional podcast, you've gone to the clearly wrong place, because I'm here.
I think it'll get better
I'm
with
here.
time.
So there is no train for these rails to be ridden on. Right? I don't know, that sounds right.
Wait, Kurt?
We'll figure it out.
You just said there's no train for the rails to be ridden on.
Yeah, there's no train to ride on the rails. I did it right. I was right.
Wait, but the way you worded it makes it sound like the rails are riding a train.
Are they not?
There's no train for the
Who's moving,
rails.
the train or the rails?
What is Ursaluna buying from Walmart? Let us know down below. And yeah, like I said, this is gonna be just a pretty scatterbrained podcast, or at least the first couple episodes till we get it figured out.
2 idiots talking for an hour.
Be sure to leave viewer questions down in the description below. Not in the description, comments. I do this for
Leave
a
them
living.
in the
I make
description.
money off this.
Hack into John's YouTube account and change the description with your questions.
Leave comments below for what questions you may have for us, whatever the case may be. You can ask us pretty much anything, and we will talk about it in the next episode.
Ask us what Ursaluna buys from Walmart.
Straight up. And we'll also have a guest next episode, I think. Probably.
Do we have to?
I mean, after talking about anxiety and how socially anxious we are, maybe we shouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should need Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to do it for us here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. And for now, guys, this has been John Jr.
Check out the Kirby. You never said check out the Kirby, you dick.
Top right-hand corner. This has been John Jr. signing off.